Hello, everyone. Welcome to Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel, and here we share stories from women around the world to inspire, encourage, and empower women and young girls to dream without limitations. Today, I have the ultimate pleasure of speaking with Ms. Diana Rosu, and she is an energy healer and empowerment coach. So I'm so excited to get to know more about her journey, and the many life lessons that she's learned and will be able to share with us today. So, hi, Diana. How are you doing today?
Hi Maya, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Thank you for being here, sharing your story. I'm sure you're going to be so much light and energy and just an inspiration to women all around the world. So I want to give you the opportunity to allow the audience to know a little bit more about you and what you do.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm kind of a bit of a multidisciplinary person. I have actually a background in the creative industries. I started in the film and animation industry, and about 3 years ago, or actually 4 years ago, I started on an entrepreneurial journey where I went to West Africa, specifically to Ghana, and I started an organization there that helps African animators connect to the international industry because I'm super passionate about storytelling. I've always been passionate about storytelling, and I've been in and out of Africa for a while, and I just saw so many stories, so many opportunities, and so much richness that I thought needed to be brought to the world. And I'm Romanian, so I was born in Bucharest, and I lived across different countries. So I lived in Germany, I lived in Austria, and then I lived in Ghana. And that's where my entrepreneurial journey started, but that's also where my coaching journey started, more or less, because as an entrepreneur, you end up having to deal with yourself, and you end up having to come to terms with your own insecurities, with your imposter syndrome, with everything that you feel is not right about you, so that you can be a leader and show up for other people and inspire them to follow you, right? Or to help you build your dream. So I got into energy healing. I also, obviously being in Africa, and I truly believe that that's where, all life originated. So I was always interested in esoteric sciences, in metaphysics, and all of those kind of things. So I got into energy healing, I got into all of those things, and I learned a lot about it. And I see that as, my pre-entrepreneurial journey, if I can put it like that, or my
Like the setup. The setup.
Yeah, setup. That's yeah, exactly. So you need to learn so many things, and you need to embody so many things as an entrepreneur, so that you can really, flourish and then be successful. So I decided I wanted to give that back to other women who are on their entrepreneurial journey, and I started a program called From Fear to Fuel, because I used to deal with anxiety and depression, and I learned how to turn that around and how to turn my energy around, and use that as fuel for my business and as a fuel for my entrepreneurial, endeavors. So I did that as a 6 months online program, and that's kind of like how my coaching journey started. Yeah.
Awesome. That is a wonderful, wonderful story. I'm so excited and I'm ready to dig deeper and know so much more about you because your background is so interesting. So I want to know what do you feel like were some of your most challenging obstacles along your pathway? I know you dealt with several different things, but what were some of your most challenging obstacles and how to adjust mentally and physically to overcome those?
I would say the most challenging part of my journey was realizing that I was holding myself back, and letting go of the victim mindset, and then realizing that you're all powerful and you can achieve anything that you set your mind to when you believe in yourself and when you find that fire from within. And I think that was difficult because we as a society are kind of like, you're getting bombarded every day with why you're not enough, or why you need this product or whatever to become better. And I had to strip myself of all of those beliefs and really peel the layers of the onion to realize that at the end of the day, my connection to the divine, my connection to myself was the most important thing. And that was a little bit challenging because it also comes in waves. You know, you finally have, you know, you've peeled a layer and you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
it's amazing. And then you kind of 2 weeks later, you're weeping and you're like, I thought I dealt with this already. And
It's
then
like a
more.
continuous growth cycle, continuous, just working on yourself. I think even though you feel like you found a space, you're going to continue to grow and work on yourself, no
Yeah,
matter what
absolutely.
space you are in on your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And I would say that actually helped me, like really embodying the knowing and belief that it's
Hmm.
about the journey and not the destination. And then you're
Right.
constantly always learning and evolving.
Hmm. Right. Because I feel like, our beliefs and our talents and examples and thoughts, they're always going to be constantly changing, so we have to constantly adjust ourselves for those changing thoughts, for the new innovations that are coming out, all these different things, so we constantly are growing within ourselves, so I don't feel like it just stops at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like your personality, you know, I'm a super huge fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he
Hmm.
kind of says that your personality is your personal reality. So as you change your personality, everything around you changes. And it's kind of a
Yeah.
cycle, right? It's like
Hmm.
you change that, and then your personal reality changes, and then you'd realize that you want other things, or you want, you know, you want
Hmm.
more or less, or you know, you want to go into a different kind of business, whatever it might be, you know,
Hmm.
whatever your desire is, you then change your personality again to match that kind of frequency and that kind of energy.
Right, it's definitely the law of attraction, because I say it this way too. It's like even when looking for a partner in a relationship, if you are looking for a partner and every time you get this certain type of person that you are just like upset that you're attracting this person, sometimes it's like you have to change yourself and your approach and the way you carry yourself just to attract the right type of people that you want to attract. So I think that works the same way in business, in different career opportunities, and all the above.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like, why are you attracting the same type of person over and over again, right? It's like a
Mhm.
mirror to what it is that you don't want to see in yourself, because
Mhm.
that cycle would be completed, then you wouldn't attract that person in your life anymore, right? It's like
Right.
you keep saying, I want more money, I want more money, but if you actually felt good and happy
Mhm.
and blissful about what you have right now, more would come to you because
Right.
you're already expanding in your energy. Yeah.
Most definitely. So, what would you say are some of your favorite lessons that you've learned along your journey so far?
My absolute favorite lesson that I've learned was that fear can be my friend,
Mhm.
and that it's kind of just a compass showing
Mhm.
me where I have, you know, blind spots, or where I have
Mhm.
beliefs that are not serving me, or not really
Right.
in alignment with my where I want to go and where I want to be.
Mhm.
And accepting that and realizing that it's okay to just take time and sit with your emotions and sit with your
Mhm.
feelings, and that by doing that you actually, it's like a snowball effect, because I think
Mhm.
people kind of want to work and feel like a business is only built, you know, through labor and physical things, but actually a business is built just as much through your mindset and your
Mhm.
energy and where your emotional state is. And by taking a step back and looking at that and taking the time to realign yourself, you actually
Right.
do more work for your business than if you would have
Mhm.
10 emails a day or like try and network with people. So I
Right. I
think
think you definitely have to disconnect in order to reconnect to
that,
improve.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So that was a
Mhm.
really big lesson for me, because I was always someone
Mhm.
doing. And at some point I was like,
Mhm.
why am I not getting the results that I want to get?
Right. And then was there something else that you were sharing?
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of lessons. Also patience and, you know,
Mm.
trusting in the right timing, and trusting that sometimes if you push something, like sometimes you might push something and want something and kind of realize it, but then you realize it was not the right thing for your business or for
Right.
your vision. And
Mhm.
trusting that, you know, you have you have that connection. I kind of call it the connection to your future self,
Mhm.
and then your future self kind of gives you messages and tells
Mhm.
you which way to go for your
Right,
highest
which was right
possible.
and was wrong.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think, making those right decisions and that are personally tailored for you, for your business, for wherever you're trying to go on your journey are so important just because, especially now we go through social media and there's always something, there's an ad, there's someone telling us that, oh, this is what you should be doing, but everything does not work for everyone the same way, you know? So
Absolutely.
I think it's important to figure out what it is that is perfect for you and perfect for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think that we're kind of, as a society as well, we're becoming more aware of the fact that each of us is a very unique person. And yes,
Right.
we have traits and character traits that are similar and you can group
Hmm.
us somehow, but we're still a very unique expression of the same type of energy.
Right. No, most definitely. I want to kind of jump to another subject really quickly, just because I want to take advantage of the fact that you're international, you're in London right now. I know before this, did you say you were born in Romania and then moved to South Africa?
I was
Or was
born in Romania. I moved to Germany. Yeah, I know it's quite a confusing journey. I was born in Romania. I moved to Germany. I moved
uh-huh.
to Austria, and then I moved to West Africa. I moved to Ghana.
Okay, so this is my question. So, okay, so the culture in, America, there's not really a lot of people moving to different countries, but I see it so often where someone who was maybe born internationally in another country, they're so easy to just move to another country. Why would you say that the mindset is different in regards to moving to different countries rather than just in the same country?
Do you mean in Europe or in other places? I think Europe
Just
is.
other than United States, I guess. I don't know. That's just kind of why I was been seeing like most people it's so easy for them to move to another country when they're not in the United States versus when they're in the United States. Most people you only see them moving within the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I
So is
think.
it like a different mindset? Is there a different cultural changes that are like international, or what do you feel?
Well, I think first of all, it's easier for Europeans to move to other countries because you have like, think about it, Europe is like even smaller than the United States, but there's a
Hmm.
cluster of different cultures.
Right.
So you kind of maybe more used to traveling to other cultures and having to adapt to that.
Hmm.
Also, a lot of Europeans kind of want to move to the United States, or a lot of other people kind of want to move to the United States, and I can see why Americans would be like, if everybody wants to move here, why would I want to move somewhere else?
Right.
If everybody's striving to come to America, why would I want to move somewhere else?
Hmm.
And I don't think that everybody's comfortable with moving. I
Hmm.
mean, even if I look at in Europe or London or other places, there's not many people who have lived in different
Hmm.
countries. There
Right.
are a lot of people who've lived in different countries, but it's not as many as you would actually think. It's not
Right. It
the
just seems like it.
yeah.
I just wanted to see if there was like a different type of mindset going on or, just something that I was missing out on. I got to get all the good deets.
Yeah, I think for me it was always something that I strived as a young person as well. And I moved when I was quite young, so it became the obvious reason, but it also became a kind of a search for something
Hmm.
um, within myself because my family
Hmm.
background, I love my family and I'm good with my family, but my dad was abusive and
Hmm.
to me and my mom, so my family background is quite tumultuous a little bit, and
Right.
it was also kind of escaping. So
Hmm.
there's different reasons why for me it happened, and I feel like for other people is also sometimes a search. And then when you
Hmm.
kind of feel like you kind of find it within yourself, you don't feel the need to move anymore, but it's
Hmm.
also eye-opening. It
Hmm.
expands your horizon to live with
Right.
cultures. Yeah.
No, most definitely. So, what would you say is your favorite place that you've lived so far?
I love London.
Hmm.
I absolutely love London because it's a patch of different cultures.
Hmm.
There's so many people in London from absolutely everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, I don't, everybody asks me that. And whenever people ask me that, I'm like, I think every place was right for the time I was in
Mm-hmm.
at that point, and for
Right.
my mind, and for,
It gave you some sort of value, like the
yeah,
right place, the right time.
yeah, exactly.
I get it. I get it. So I know that you switched gears from, being in the filmmaking industry, artistry, to coaching now. What would you say, or how would you say your definition of success has transformed or changed within that time?
I haven't switched gears. I'm still doing,
Oh, you're
doing,
still doing both?
yeah.
So, but it still can change. So it's like,
Definitely.
adding that coaching aspect to it. What would you say is the difference in your mindset or your definition of success before then versus now?
I think my definition of success, even like last year or 2 years ago, was like, I have to be the best in this field. And if
Mm-hmm.
I can't go big, I won't go at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think now I'm more understanding that I have a unique expression that I need to bring to this world, both
Right.
in coaching and in my filmmaking career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and by you actually being authentic and in integrity with your spirit and yourself, that's how you actually become successful.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's how you really, yeah, that's how you stand out, and that's how you make it big if you want to, because people who make it big in that sense are not necessarily people who look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not their main goal. Their main goal is
Right.
like, something that I need to bring out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it kind of changed for me. I thought, if you're not the number one leader, and also that kind of comes from having a background, um, well, a cultural background that's close to the Soviet Union and communist
Mm-hmm.
background, where you like have to achieve and you have to work hard
Mm-hmm.
and be the number one. And that
Mm-hmm.
translated, and that kind of shifted now, because I just want to be myself.
So, traveling, was it easy for you to adapt to the different cultures that you were immersed within, or was it something that was hard to get used to, or was it like you got used to it right before you left? Like, tell me a little bit more about that.
So I moved to Germany when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't really hard for me to adapt to, I mean, every country had its difficulties, but every country had its beauties too. So as
Mm-hmm.
Romanian people are really like warm and inviting, and like quite chatty as well, and a little bit loud and stuff. And German people are more, like strict, reserved, not strict necessarily, but have a different type of humor as well. But I got something out of both. So at some point it was easier for me to make friends in Romania than it was to make friends in Germany. But then when I made friends in Germany, were really close friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to another German-speaking country, which was somehow in between, like the
Mm-hmm.
rigidness of Germany
Uh-huh.
and the looseness of Romania. Um,
It was
and
like
then,
the best of both worlds.
yeah, kind of. And then when I moved to Africa, I had been in Africa before a couple of times, but it was still obviously quite different than just
Mm,
visiting, living there. And
right.
what I found challenging was the fact that there's a different cultural aspect that is not straightforward. And having been in German-speaking countries where, what you say is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and then you come to a country where it's like you have to look at subtext and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
which UK is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I found challenging. But it's also interesting to see how,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I kind of step outside of it and I look at how am I conditioned as a person based on my culture, and like how are other people's belief systems conditioned based on their cultures. So it's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. So, what impact do you feel like you've made with your entrepreneurial journey, and what are some impacts that you plan on making in the future or hope to make?
Well, so for the animation festival and the organization in Africa, we've done a lot of capacity building and a lot of exchanges between creatives in Africa and creatives in Europe, which I'm kind of glad about, because I think for me also traveling around and from a very young age, I realized that this dialogue between cultures is what also helped me really expand my creativity, and that's what I also want to bring to other people, and that's what I'm also hoping to keep doing with that. And with my coaching business, I really want women to feel empowered to just follow their dreams, follow their journey, and really follow whatever they feel like they have to bring to this world, because that's how we're going to build a better world, by just being ourselves and asserting ourselves unapologetically.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking for in my coaching business, and that's what I hope my program will keep doing and do. And it's basically all of the tools that I found helpful for myself, and all of the tools that I use on myself to really dig deep and get in touch with my intuition, get in touch with my spirit, and also really let go of anxiety and all of that conditioning that I had.
Right. I think it's so important when we go through certain things in our life to be able to help ourselves to heal through those, tragedies or different obstacles that we've had to endure, and just be able to help someone else that is going through that process and make it a little bit easier for them. So what would you say to women and girls around the world to inspire them to dream without limitations?
I would say there is nothing that you cannot achieve when you believe it. And it's, even if sometimes it feels hard, or even if sometimes it feels like you don't have the tools or you're not enough, I know for a fact that when you just sit still, the answers will come. And then when you sit still with yourself and look at what your desires are, you will find a way to achieve them. So, and I also know that the world is a much better place when people are happy, and you're only happy when you follow your desires, right? Because whatever you desire, whatever you desire is desiring you. It's like those are put in your heart for a specific reason.
Only have one life to live, so make it count. Do what you love. Try, explore, expand your mind, expand your horizons, and just shoot for the stars. I love it. I love it. So before we close out, I do want to give you the opportunity to allow the audience to know if they want to reach you for services, if they want to just follow your journey, how can they do that?
So currently I am relaunching my online program, my Fear to Feel online program. So I'm going to be relaunching that in November. I was going to say August. I don't know why. I don't have a time sense anymore since COVID.
I know, like, every day is like the same. I don't even know what day it is today. Don't know what time it is.
So you can reach me on my social media, on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and there you have all of my handles. If you want to book, I do online healings as well. So I use a tool called Theta Healing to look at your energy, besides what I'm doing with my coaching program. That's how you can reach me. And obviously also just comment, write me a message on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. I'm happy to hear your experiences and to hear how I can help you.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, we thank you, Diana, so much for sharing your story with us here today. Truly an inspiration, a light, and encouragement to others. And we want to thank everyone once again for tuning in to Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel, and we'll see you next time.